Okay, so um, I've created I've set up VMware tools on this infrastructure server. I've copied over a zone config and zone database that I know to be working. The next step is actually to turn it all on, because as with everything else, just because you change the config file doesn't mean those configs um, kick in right away. This is not like a Cisco iOS system where every configuration change you make goes into effect immediately and it only saves if you do copy run start. This is the reverse. You basically rewrite the new startup config and then reload. We do that. There's a couple different ways to do that. I've been using the service command. You can also use the system control command. There are a couple, but one more thing before we do this. There is a program to check the zone database. So if I do sudo named check zone .tscc.local etc bind zones tscc local.db, and I run it, I get nothing. Apparently no news is good news. So sudo I'm going to do it with system control this time. Systemctl, system control, restart, bind 9. Now, this is probably the first place where you'll get indications that things are wrong. If things do not go right here, it will tell you why. Say, for example, you missed some punctuation in your zone database, you're missing a start of authority record, you're missing an DNS record, something. Now, be careful with these files because syntax is very important. So, okay, I didn't get any errors. So I can do system control. Let me choose status. Okay, managed key zone. Okay, so zone's loaded. What it is complaining about now is that it's having trouble getting to v6. And because I have sandboxed and air-gapped this thing, it's having trouble getting to the root servers. The alphabet servers that live under rootservers.net. They control, or rather they direct clients as they're doing their recursive lookup to the top level domains and down to the second level and so on and so forth. I don't need any of that, so this is okay. So I'm going to enable bind. Okay, and so I have enabled enabled it. Now I'm going to pause right here because I need to bring up some clients. I'm actually going to bring up two because, strangely enough, and oh, one more thing. Now that I've made this change, I can go back in and add new information to the DHCP configuration, which is to say, point all new clients at my DNS server. So I'll do that. I'll show you what that looks like, and then I'll spin up those clients. Back in a moment. Okay, so I've made those changes to my DHCP scope. I've added the DNS server, 192.168.1.2. I've added a local domain name, strictly optional. What I did not do was add a domain name for everything. Now, for example, if I was going to simulate multiple subnets, I would have to figure out how to tell the VM to be the router for all of those subnets. I could maybe make one waco.txtc.local or anything. And so I'm not going to put the domain name up here because it's not a global config. These things are global configs. This thing down here is a local scope. So I'm going to do escape WQ, and I'm going to do sudo service isc dhcp server restart. Boom. Now, if you kind of do this too often, restart, 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 stop, start, it'll get a little fussy on you. No. If it says, if you check it, your status, and it says, hey, if there's an error message about restarting too often, don't give up. You should still test to see if your clients are working, because it might be complaining at you, but still be kind of running. So now I'm going to fire up my two clients, one Linux and one Windows, because strangely enough, Windows handles interacting with the bind server, the name server, a little better than Debian does, for reasons I have not quite understood yet. So be right back again. Okay, so I have brought my Win10 client up, as you can see from the output of ipconfig/all. It is now receiving the DNS server. It just happens to be the same as the DHCP server, of course. And I can resolve ns1.tscc.local. If I were to ping, let's see, because my services servers aren't up, it's going to resolve that and fail because the destination host is not there.